What if I told you that every tear you've cried alone in the dark, every night you whispered, "God, did you forget me?" Every Christmas morning you woke up with that ache in your chest, wondering if this is all there is, wasn't wasted? What if I told you that every failed marriage, every phone call your kids didn't return, every medical bill that scared you half to death, every moment you felt invisible while the world kept spinning without you, was actually leading you to one single, specific moment? What if Friday, December 26th, is that moment? You weren't supposed to scroll past this. You were supposed to land here, at this exact second, because heaven circled Friday, December 26th, with your name on it. Not your neighbor's name, not some stranger's, yours. Listen to me. I'm talking to the one who's been carrying weight nobody sees, the one who smiles at church but cries driving home, the one who's been faithful for decades and still wonders if God hears you anymore, the one who's watching everyone else get their miracle while you're still waiting for yours. There's something God needs you to do on Friday, and if you treat Friday like just another day, another leftover Christmas turkey sandwich, another scroll through the phone, another nap on the couch, you might walk right past what you've been praying for your entire life. I'm not being dramatic. I'm being obedient. Heaven is watching you right now. Angels are leaning in. The enemy is panicking because he knows if you make it to Friday with your spirit awake, with your eyes open, with your heart ready, everything shifts. I know you're tired. I know you've been disappointed before. I know hope feels dangerous at your age because you've buried too many dreams already. But what if this time is different? What if everything you survived, the betrayals, the diagnoses, the goodbyes, the silence, wasn't random? What if it was preparation? Before we go any further, I need you to do something. If something in your spirit is already stirring right now, if you feel that familiar tug in your chest, type "I receive" in the comments. Let the enemy know you're still in the fight. Let heaven know you're listening. And thank you to every single one of you who has supported this message through super thanks. Your generosity means more than you know. You're not just donating, you're helping spread light to others who feel alone in their calling. Whether you give or not, I'm deeply grateful for your presence here. Your support, your time, your attention, it all matters. And if this message resonates with your soul, go ahead and share it with someone who needs to hear it. Now, whisper right where you are, "Lord, I'm listening, don't let me miss Friday." Because what I'm about to tell you next changes everything. Why have you always felt different? Why, when everyone else seemed to move forward with ease, did you get pulled back again and again? And why, tell me, why do people bring their darkest secrets, their heaviest burdens, their midnight breakdowns to your doorstep? But the second you need someone, the phone goes silent. You've been asking these questions for years, maybe decades. You thought something was wrong with you. You thought maybe you missed a turn somewhere, made the wrong choice, said the wrong thing. But what if I told you that every single detour, every delay, every moment you stood alone in the cold while everyone else walked into warmth was intentional? What if you weren't forgotten? What if you were set apart? Let me paint a picture, and you tell me if I'm lying. You're sitting at your kitchen table. One plate, one cup of coffee. The TV's on, but you're not really watching. You're just filling the silence because silence in a New York apartment at 7 p.m. on a Tuesday feels too heavy. Your kids, they're busy. Your grandkids, you see them on FaceTime, little pixelated faces that you can't hug. They say, "Love you, Grandma," and the screen goes black, and you're alone again. You were the strong one, you were the lighthouse. But lighthouses don't get to fall apart, do they? Lighthouses just stand there, battered by every wave, lighting the way for ships that never even slow down to say thank you. You've spent decades being that lighthouse. Hospital visits alone, funerals alone, holidays where you set the table and half the chairs stay empty. You smile at church on Sunday, you hug people, you say, "I'm blessed," because that's what you're supposed to say. But Sunday night, when you close the door and the apartment goes quiet again, You whisper a different prayer. God, do you see me? God, am I still here for a reason, or am I just left over? Listen to me. Heaven has counted every single wave that hit you, every single one. You know why your life has been different. You know why your siblings moved on, got remarried, traveled, retired into comfort, while you kept getting called back into the fight. Because chosen ones don't live normal timelines. You age on the outside, yes, your knees hurt, your back aches, you move a little slower than you used to. But your assignment? Your assignment stays young, active, burning. You thought retirement meant rest, but God said, not yet. I still need you. The Bible talks about this. In Isaiah 46:4, God says, even to your old age and gray hairs I am He who will sustain you. I have made you, and I will carry you. I will sustain you, and I will rescue you. You hear that? He didn't say, I used to carry you. He said, I will carry you. Present tense, active, ongoing. Your age is not your disqualification, it's your credential. You've been set apart because God needed someone who wouldn't quit when it got hard. He needed someone who'd been through enough winters, literal and spiritual, to know that spring always comes, even when it's late. He needed someone whose faith wasn't theory. Someone whose faith was survived bankruptcy, survived betrayal, survived standing at gravesides, survived sitting alone on Christmas morning, wondering if anyone remembered. That's you. You weren't crazy for feeling different. You were chosen for being different. You weren't broken for carrying weight others couldn't see. You were trusted with weight others couldn't carry. And every time someone misunderstood your faith, every time your own family looked at you like you were too much or too intense about God, that wasn't rejection, that was confirmation. Because the anointed are always misunderstood by people who live in comfort. You've been like Moses, 80 years old, tending sheep in the wilderness, thinking his life was over, and then God showed up at a burning bush and said, now we begin. 80 years old, not 20, not 30, 80. Because God needed someone who'd been humbled, stripped, refined by the desert. Someone who wouldn't take credit. Someone who'd seen enough of their own weakness to know that if anything good happened, it could only be God. That's why Friday, December 26th, is not just another date on your calendar. It's not leftover Christmas. It's not get back to normal day. It's a signal in the Spirit, a divine appointment written before you were born, sealed in heaven's books, and now breaking into your timeline. All of this, every lonely night, every unanswered question, every moment you stood when you wanted to fall, has been leading you here. To this Friday, to this exact moment. I'm going to tell you exactly what you need to do when Friday comes. But you need this foundation first. You need to know that your pain wasn't pointless. Your isolation wasn't punishment. Your differentness wasn't a mistake. It was preparation. If this sounds like your story, if you've been the strong one, the lighthouse, the one nobody checks on, don't suffer in silence anymore. Put, that's me, in the comments. Let someone else who's reading this know they're not alone. Let heaven know you're still listening. Because what I'm about to show you next will explain why all of this had to happen before Friday could come. Listen carefully, because what I'm about to teach you will change how you see Friday, December 26th. The Bible talks about time in two completely different ways. And if you don't understand this distinction, you'll miss what God is doing right in front of you. There's Chronos, the everyday ticking of the clock, seconds, minutes, hours, the time that just passes. The time you use to measure your coffee cooling down, your pills scheduled at 9 a.m., the reruns on TV. Chronos is the calendar on your wall that keeps flipping forward, whether you're ready or not. But then there's Kairos. Kairos is God's appointed time. It's that right place, right time moment when everything shifts. It's when heaven interrupts your ordinary and says, this is it. This is your moment. Move now. You've lived long enough to know the difference. You've had years, decades, even of Chronos. Days that bled into each other. Mornings you woke up wondering if anything would ever change. Nights you went to bed with the same prayers, the same aches, the same silence. But then, there were those other moments, the ones you still remember. The day you met your spouse, the phone call that saved your life, the stranger who said exactly what you needed to hear. Those weren't accidents. Those were Kairos moments, divine appointments, God showing up in Chronos and flipping the script. And Friday, December 26th, is one of those moments for you. The Bible makes this clear. Galatians 6-9 says, "In due season we shall reap, if we faint not." Due season, not random season, not lucky season, due season, like a bill that comes due, like rent, like something owed to you that must be paid. God owes you nothing, but He promised you something, and due season means it's coming. You've been waiting. I know you have. You've been faithful when nobody was watching. You've been praying when your knees hurt. You've been believing when everyone around you said, "Just accept it." This is your life now. But Habakkuk 2-3 says, "Though the vision tarry, wait for it. It will surely come, it will not delay." Read that again. It will surely come. It will not delay. Not maybe. Not if you're lucky. Surely. That's a guarantee. That's God putting His name on it. And when it says it will not delay, that doesn't mean it's early. It means when it shows up, it's exactly on time. God's time. Kairos time. You think you've been waiting too long. You think you've been forgotten. You think your moment passed you by 20 years ago, 30 years ago, when you were younger, stronger, prettier, when your back didn't hurt and your kids still listened. But what if I told you that every single day of Chronos, every ordinary, painful, lonely day was preparing you for this Kairos moment? Psalm 31-15 says, "My times are in your hands." Not some of your times. Not just the good ones. Not just the ones that made sense. All of them. The days you cried. The days you rage quit on God. The days you buried people you loved. The days you wondered if you'd ever smile again. All of it. In His hands. Being woven into something you couldn't see yet. God has dates circled on a calendar you can't see. You think Friday, December 26th is just another Friday. Leftover ham. Maybe a nap. Maybe scrolling through your phone, looking at pictures of grandkids who live too far away. But heaven calls it something else. Heaven calls it Activation Day. Think about the woman with the issue of blood. She bled for 12 years. 12 years of doctors who couldn't help her. 12 years of spending every penny she had. 12 years of being untouchable, unclean, invisible. 12 years of Chronos. But then, one day, one ordinary day, in a crowded street, Jesus passed by, and in one touch, in one Kairos moment, 12 years of suffering ended. It wasn't her effort. It wasn't her perfection. It was divine timing. It was the collision of her faith and God's appointed moment. You've had your 12 years. Some of you have had longer. You've had your issue, your bleeding, your thing that won't heal, won't stop, won't let you rest. And you've been in the crowd, trying to get close, trying to touch the hem of something holy. Friday is your Kairos. You think nothing special can happen at your age. You think miracles are for younger people with more energy, more faith, more time left. You think God's done with you because your body is done with you. But God didn't bring you all the way here through every loss, every heartbreak, every betrayal, every diagnosis, just to let December 26th be empty. There is a reason you're hearing this before that date. There is a reason you didn't scroll past this video. There is a reason your spirit is stirring right now, even if your mind is fighting it. Because when God circles a date, He doesn't send an invitation in the mail. He sends a whisper in your spirit, and you heard it. That's why you're still watching. So, write this down somewhere. I'm serious. Get a pen, get a napkin, get something. Write, I'm stepping from Chronos into Kairos. Put it on your fridge. Tape it to your bathroom mirror. Stick it on your nightstand. Anywhere you'll see it before Friday. Because when Friday comes, I need you ready. I need you awake. I need you expecting. And here's what I need you to understand before we go any further. Kairos moments don't just happen to you. They require something from you. So the question is, what is God asking you to do on Friday? Let's be honest for a second, okay? You've been here before. Not watching this exact video, but standing at the edge of something God was trying to give you. And somehow, some way, you didn't take it. You hesitated. You second-guessed. You got distracted. And when the moment passed, you spent the next 5, 10, maybe 20 years asking yourself, what if I had said yes back then? I'm not here to make you feel guilty. I'm here to make you see the pattern. Because the enemy doesn't change his playbook. He just runs the same plays over and over, hoping you won't notice. And for most of your life, it worked. But not this time. This time, you're going to see exactly what he's been doing. Every time you got close to a breakthrough, someone picked a fight with you. Every time you were about to say yes to God's instruction, fear whispered, what if it doesn't work? What if you look foolish? What if you're too old? Every Christmas season, right when you should be celebrating new beginnings, the enemy floods your mind with memories, regrets, and loneliness. He pulls you down right before a new year begins because he knows January could be your turnaround month. You think that's coincidence? You think it's random that every time you're about to step forward, something knocks you backward? No. That's strategy. That's warfare. That's the enemy running interference plays against you like a football team trying to block the winning pass. But here's what he didn't count on. Heaven already saw the footage. Heaven already knows his game plan. And this time, you're not walking in blind. Think about it. When was the last time you almost moved? When was the last time you almost obeyed? When was the last time you almost walked away from that toxic friendship, that soul-draining relationship, that dead-end situation God told you to leave 3 years ago? You hesitated, and the moment closed. Some of you right now can look back and pinpoint the exact week, the exact month when everything could have changed. You can still feel it in your chest, that missed opportunity, that ignored whisper from God, that door you didn't walk through because someone talked you out of it, or worse, because you talked yourself out of it. Proverbs 29:25 says, "The fear of man brings a snare, but whoever trusts in the Lord shall be safe." You know what a snare is? It's a trap, and fear is the bait. The enemy has been baiting you with fear your entire life. Fear of failure, fear of embarrassment, fear of being wrong, fear of losing what little you have left. And every time you took that bait, you missed your appointment. But hear me clearly. God is so merciful, so gracious, so relentlessly in love with you that he's giving you another shot. He's circling Friday, December 26th on the calendar and saying, this one. Don't miss this one. You want to know why the enemy fights you so hard? Because he knows what God is about to release. He knows that if you make it to Friday with your spirit awake, with your eyes open, with your heart ready to obey, everything shifts. Your bloodline shifts, your finances shift, your health shifts, your peace shifts. The enemy has been trying to wear you down so that when Friday comes, you're too tired to notice it, too distracted to receive it, too numb to respond to it. He wants you scrolling through your phone, watching reruns, eating leftover turkey, doing anything except standing in the posture of readiness. But you're not going to let that happen this time. Let me tell you something about the pattern. The pattern is this: distraction, delay, discouragement. First, he distracts you with drama. Someone starts an argument, a bill shows up in the mail, your body starts hurting. Then he delays you. You can pray tomorrow. You can obey next week. You can deal with this later. And finally, he discourages you. You've tried before and it didn't work. You're too old. You're too broken. God's moved on. Distraction, delay, discouragement. That's how he made you miss the last 5 appointments. But not this one. Not Friday. You know what Jesus said in John 10:10? The thief does not come except to steal and to kill and to destroy. I have come that they may have life, and that they may have it more abundantly. The thief, the enemy, his entire job is to steal your moments, kill your hope, and destroy your destiny. And he's been clocking in every single day of your life trying to do exactly that. But Jesus came so you could have life, not just survival, not just existence, abundant life, overflowing life, life that makes up for every year the locusts ate. And Friday is the door to that abundance. Some of you are thinking, but I've been disappointed before. What if this is just another letdown? That's the enemy talking. That's the same voice that made you miss the last one. Don't let him do it again. If you refuse to miss another God moment, I need you to say out loud right now, wherever you are, not this time. Say it like you mean it. Say it like a war cry. And type, not this time, in the comments. Let it be your public declaration. Let the enemy know you see his pattern and you're breaking it. Because what I'm about to show you next is exactly what God is asking you to do on Friday. And when you do it, you're going to look back at this moment and realize this was the turning point. The world calls it the day after Christmas, the leftovers day, the day people stuff turkey sandwiches in their mouths, throw away crumpled wrapping paper, and forget everything that just happened, the day the magic dies and Monday creeps back in. But chosen one, listen to me. In the spirit realm, for those who have eyes to see and ears to hear, this Friday is not leftovers day. It's layover day. You're not stuck. You're in transit. December 26th is that airport gate where heaven reroutes your entire life if you stay where God told you to sit. If you don't get distracted. If you don't wander off looking for something to numb the wait. Think about what a layover really is. You're between destinations. You're not where you were, but you're not where you're going yet either. And everything depends on whether you stay at the gate God assigned you, or whether you miss the boarding call because you were too busy shopping at Hudson News or scrolling through your phone pretending everything's fine. That's where most people lose their miracle, not in the storm, in the waiting room. Psalm 27:14 says, "Wait on the Lord, be of good courage, and he shall strengthen your heart." Wait, it says. Not panic, not give up, not fill the silence with noise and distraction. Wait with your heart positioned to receive. So let me tell you what Friday is really about. And I need you to listen like your next breath depends on it. Because maybe it does. Friday, December 26th, is the day heaven leans in closer. It's the day God separates those who were just entertained by the Christmas story from those who are actually willing to live it. It's the day he watches to see who treats his word like a greeting card and who treats it like a roadmap. You want to know why the enemy has been working overtime to distract you this week? Why you've felt heavy, tired, irritated for no reason? Why old wounds suddenly started bleeding again right after Christmas? Because he knows. He knows that if you show up on Friday with your spirit awake, with your hands open, with your mouth ready to say, yes, everything shifts. Not next year. Not eventually. Friday. Now here's what I need you to do. And I'm not asking. I'm delivering instructions from the throne room. You ready? First, protect the morning. On Friday morning, before you talk to anyone, before you check your phone, before you let the world tell you who you are and what you should feel, sit with God. Even if it's 10 minutes. Even if you can't find fancy words. Open your Bible, or just put your hand over your heart and say, Lord, I'm here. I don't want to miss whatever you scheduled for me today. That's it. No performance, no religious show, just presence. Second, write and release. Take a piece of paper, an actual piece of paper, not your phone, and write down everything you refuse to carry into the next season. Fear, shame, unworthiness. The voice that says you're too old, too late, too broken. The poverty mindset that's kept you begging when God called you to inherit. The bitterness you've been nursing like it's medicine when it's actually poison. Write it all down. Then hold that paper in your hands and pray over it. Tell God, I release this. I don't want it anymore. I trade it for what you have for me. Then destroy it. Tear it up. Burn it if it's safe, let it go. Third, bless your future out loud. Speak blessings over your children, your grandchildren, your own body that's been through hell and back. Speak life over your finances. Say it like you mean it. I will not die small. I will not leave this earth without finishing what God put me here for. Your voice has power. Proverbs 18:21 says, "Death and life are in the power of the tongue." So stop cursing yourself with doubt and start blessing yourself with truth. Now let me be clear about something, because I don't want you confused. Nothing about Friday is superstition. This is not about a magic date performing tricks. This is not astrology dressed up in Christian language. This is about you meeting God with a yes on a day He chose to lean in a little closer. God works in appointed times. Ecclesiastes 3:1 says, "To everything there is a season, a time for every purpose under heaven." And Friday, December 26th, is an appointed time for the chosen ones who are still breathing, still believing, still brave enough to show up. Here's the part that's going to wreck you. You ready? All along, you thought you were waiting on God. You've been saying, "Lord, when are you going to move? When are you going to answer? When are you going to show up?" But Friday is proof that God has been waiting on you, waiting for you to be still enough, open enough, brave enough, desperate enough to receive what He's been holding this whole time. He wasn't late. You were just in preparation. So if you're willing, and I mean truly willing, to meet God on Friday with a serious yes, say it right now. Say it out loud where you're sitting. "Lord, I won't treat Friday like just another day." And write that in the comments. Write, "I won't miss Friday, so future, you can come back and see what you promised, so heaven can mark you present." So the enemy knows you're awake. Because what you do on Friday will determine what happens in the days that follow. And chosen one, you didn't survive everything, you survived just to miss your boarding call now. I need to stop right here and talk to the elephant in the room. Some of you are sitting there right now, and even though everything in your spirit is saying yes, there's a voice whispering something else. A quieter voice. A meaner voice. It says, "This sounds beautiful, but let's be honest, my best days are behind me." You've heard that voice before, haven't you? It shows up at 2 a.m. when you can't sleep. It shows up when you look in the mirror and don't recognize the person staring back. It shows up when you open Facebook and see people half your age living the life you thought you'd have by now. That voice whispers, "You had your chance. You blew it. It's too late." Listen to me very carefully. That voice is not from God. That voice is from the pit of hell, and it has one mission: to convince you to die before you're buried. If you are still breathing, you are still useful. Period. End of story. The enemy doesn't waste energy attacking corpses. He only fights people who still carry assignment. The fact that he's whispering too late in your ear is proof that you're dangerous. The fact that he wants you to believe you're expired means there's something in you he's terrified of. You think God brought you through 60, 70, 80 years of life just to park you in a recliner and let you fade. You think He kept you alive through heart attacks, through cancer, through the death of people you loved, through divorces and bankruptcies and nights you didn't think you'd survive, just so you could spend your final years watching game shows? No, absolutely not. There's a reason you're still here. And Friday, December 26th, is when you find out what it is. Now let me tell you something about age that nobody wants to say out loud. Old trees give the best shade. The oldest stories in a family hold the deepest wisdom. A 20-year-old can inspire you with energy, but a 70-year-old can save your life with one sentence. You are not expired. You're marinated. You've been soaking in experience, in pain, in loss, in survival. And what the world calls wasted years, God calls seasoning. Think about Moses, 80 years old, when God called him to lead a nation out of slavery. 80. Most people today are planning their funeral at 80, and Moses was just getting started. Think about Abraham, 100 years old when Isaac was born. 100. Sarah laughed when God said she'd have a baby because her body had shut down decades earlier. But God said, Is anything too hard for the Lord? Genesis 18:14. And Isaac came anyway. Think about Anna in the temple, 84 years old, widowed for most of her life, and she's the one who recognized Jesus when he was just 8 days old. Luke 2:36. Not the young priests, not the scholars, the old widow who refused to stop praying. God has a pattern. He uses the ones the world has written off. He picks the ones everybody else walked past, and right now he's picking you. But here's the thing. You can't walk into what God has for you on Friday if you're still carrying 50 pounds of regret on your back. Some of you have been carrying guilt for decades. Guilt over the marriage that didn't work. Guilt over the kids you feel like you failed. Guilt over the career you never built. Guilt over the time you wasted on the wrong people, the wrong habits, the wrong priorities. And every single day, that guilt whispers, you don't deserve a second chance. Let me say this as plainly as I know how. It's time to forgive yourself. Not because what you did was okay, not because the mistakes don't matter, but because God already forgave you the moment you asked, and the only person still holding it against you is you. God doesn't throw your story away. He recycles it. He turns your pain into testimony. He turns your failure into wisdom. He turns your scars into credentials. But you have to let him do it. Right now, I want you to do something. Put your hand over your heart. I'm serious. Do it. Feel your heartbeat. That's God saying, you're not done yet. Now take a deep breath, a real one, and say this with me, out loud if you can. Lord, I give you my regrets. I give you my late nights of what if. I give you the years I feel I wasted. Use my life anyway. If you just prayed that, even quietly, I need you to type I release my regrets in the comments. Let heaven see it. Let your own soul see it. Let the enemy know he just lost his grip on you. Because here's what happens when you walk into Friday carrying regret. It's like trying to board a plane with 20 heavy suitcases. It's not that God won't bless you. It's not that the door is locked. It's that you won't be able to carry what he's trying to give you because your hands are too full of yesterday. Friday is about release. Friday is about receiving, and you can't receive with clenched fists. So the question isn't whether God still has something for you. The question is, are you willing to let go of what's keeping you from it? Because what's waiting for you on Friday isn't just a blessing, it's vindication. It's proof that every year you survived mattered. It's evidence that God wastes nothing. And the enemy knows it. That's why he's fighting so hard to keep you stuck in too late. But you're not too late. You're right on time. And Friday is about to prove it. We started this video with a simple truth. You were supposed to find this exact moment. Now you know why. Everything you've walked through, every scar, every silent night, every unanswered prayer has been leading you to Friday, December 26th. Not by accident, not by luck, by divine appointment. Listen to me carefully. I need you to understand something that the enemy has worked overtime to hide from you. Your age is not your disqualification. Your gray hair is not a sign that God is finished with you. Your wrinkles are not proof that your season is over. They are battle scars. They are medals of endurance. They are evidence that you survived what was meant to destroy you. Proverbs 16:31 says, "Gray hair is a crown of glory. It is gained in a righteous life." You are not fading. You are being crowned. But here's what the enemy doesn't want you to know. He's terrified of Friday. He's panicking right now because he knows that if you wake up on December 26th with your spirit awake, with your ears open, with your heart ready to receive, everything he worked to steal from you will be returned with interest. That's why he's been whispering lies to you all week. You're too old. You missed your chance. God moved on without you. Your best years are behind you. Those are not thoughts. Those are assignments. Demonic assignments designed to keep you asleep on the one day heaven has circled for your breakthrough. But I'm here to tell you the truth. You didn't miss your life. You're right on time for what matters most. Let me speak directly to the pain you're carrying right now. I'm talking to the one who's been diagnosed with something the doctors can't fully explain. The one who's been living on a fixed income, watching prices go up while your bank account stays the same. The one whose kids moved away and forgot to call back. The one who sits in a house that used to be full of laughter and now echoes with silence. God sees you, He hasn't forgotten you, and Friday is the day He's going to prove it. In the name of Jesus, I declare over you right now, Friday, December 26th, will not be a day of depression. It will not be a day of loneliness. It will not be a day of replaying old pain, old regrets, old failures. It will be a day of divine alignment. A day where heaven whispers directions and you finally hear them clearly. A day where what was broken begins to mend. A day where what was stolen begins to return. I declare over your health right now, that diagnosis does not have the final say. That pain in your body is not your permanent address. Isaiah 53:5 says, "By His stripes we are healed." Not we will be healed someday. We are healed. Present tense. Active. Right now, I speak strength into your bones. I speak clarity into your mind. I speak peace into your sleep. On Friday, you will feel something shift in your body that you haven't felt in years. I declare over your finances, you will not die in lack. You will not spend your final years counting pennies and skipping meals. Philippians 4:19 says, "My God will supply every need of yours according to His riches in glory in Christ Jesus." Not according to social security, not according to the economy, according to His riches. On Friday, an unexpected door will open, a check you weren't expecting, a call you thought would never come. Provision is moving toward you. I declare over your family, the children who stopped calling will call. The grandchildren who don't know you will suddenly ask about you. The spouse who's been distant will turn toward you again. Malachi 4:6 says, "He will turn the hearts of fathers to their children and the hearts of children to their fathers." That word is alive. That word is active. And on Friday, reconciliation begins. I declare over your home, the loneliness that's been suffocating you will break. The silence that's been crushing you will lift. Psalm 68:6 says, "God sets the lonely in families." You are not forgotten. You are not abandoned. And on Friday, you will feel His presence in your living room like you haven't felt in decades. Now hear me clearly. I see something in the Spirit right now. I see God taking everything the enemy used to embarrass you, the divorce, the bankruptcy, the estrangement, the addiction you overcame, the depression you survived, and He's turning it into the very stage where He will honor you. Your story is not your shame. Your story is your pulpit. And on Friday, God is going to use what hurt you to heal someone else. You are not too old to be used. Moses was 80 when God called him to lead a nation. Abraham was 100 when he held the promise. Caleb was 85 and said, "Give me this mountain." Your age is not your limit. It's your advantage. You've seen enough to know that when God moves, nothing can stop Him. So here's what I need you to do. Right now, wherever you are, I want you to say out loud, "I agree with this prayer." Say it like you mean it. Say it until your spirit catches fire. Say it until doubt leaves the room. And I want you to type Amen in the comments below so I know who I'm covering this Friday. Because on December 26th, I'm going to be praying for every single name I see. Every single amen is a covenant. You're not just typing a word, you're making an agreement with heaven. Friday is not just another day. Friday is your appointed time, and you were supposed to find this exact moment so you wouldn't miss it. Now let's step into what happens next. Listen to me carefully, because what I'm about to tell you is going to save you from missing everything God set up for Friday. You think the enemy is just going to sit back and let you walk into your appointed moment without a fight. You think after all these years of delay, all these decades of holding on, that the devil is suddenly going to say, "Oh well, I guess they figured it out. Let them have their breakthrough." No, He's going to send 3 very specific, very strategic distractions between now and Friday. And I need you to recognize them the second they show up, because if you don't, you'll think it's just life happening. You'll think it's just you, but it's not. It's warfare disguised as Wednesday afternoon. Here's distraction number 1, and I guarantee some of you are already feeling this. Unexpected conflict. Somebody you haven't heard from in months, maybe years, is suddenly going to reach out. A family member, an old friend, maybe even one of your kids. And out of nowhere, they're going to pick a fight. They're going to say something that cuts deep. They're going to bring up something you thought was buried. And before you know it, you're angry. You're hurt. You're defending yourself at 11 o'clock at night, typing messages you shouldn't send, rehearsing arguments in your head while you're trying to sleep. Why now? Why this week? Because the enemy knows something you're just starting to remember. If he can get you angry, he can get you distracted. If he can pull you into an emotional fire drill, he can pull you away from what God is about to do. The Bible says in Ephesians 4:26, "Don't let the sun go down while you are still angry, and do not give the devil a foothold." That word foothold, it means an opening, a crack, a place where he can slip in and set up camp in your spirit. So, when that text comes through, when that call lights up your phone, when someone suddenly needs to tell you everything they think is wrong with you, don't take the bait. Just say, "Oh, so this is confirmation I'm close. Thanks for letting me know, devil." Then put the phone down and refocus. Now here's distraction number 2, and this one's sneaky, sudden fatigue and apathy. You're going to wake up one of these mornings and feel heavy. Not sick, not in pain, just tired. Soul tired. The kind of tired where even thinking about Friday feels like too much work. You'll catch yourself thinking, maybe I'm making too big a deal out of this. Maybe it's not that serious. Maybe I should just rest and not worry about it. Let me tell you something. That's not just tiredness. That's not your age. That's not your body needing a nap. That is spiritual warfare, trying to get you to sleep through your own breakthrough. Jesus dealt with this in the Garden of Gethsemane. He told Peter, James, and John, "Stay awake and pray." But what did they do? They fell asleep 3 times. Not because they didn't care, not because they weren't loyal, but because in the most critical hour the enemy used fatigue as a weapon. Matthew 26:41 says, "Watch and pray so that you will not fall into temptation. The spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak." When that strange, heavy apathy settles over you this week, when you feel like turning off the video, turning off the message, turning off the hope, that's your sign. That's not you giving up. That's the enemy trying to put you to sleep right before the alarm goes off. So you shake it off. You stand up. You say, "No, I'm not missing this," and you refocus. And here's distraction number 3, the one that hits the oldest wounds, old regrets and old scenes replaying in your mind. You're going to be sitting quietly, minding your own business, and suddenly it's going to hit you. That marriage that ended 30 years ago, that mistake you made with your kids, that business that failed, that person you hurt, that choice you can't undo. It's going to replay in your head like a movie you didn't ask to watch, frame by frame, word by word. And the enemy is going to whisper, "You really think God is going to do something special for you after what you did, after how you failed? You're not worthy of a fresh start." Let me tell you what's happening. The accuser of the brethren is doing what he does best. Revelation 12:10 calls him the accuser who accuses them before our God day and night. He's not bringing up your past because it's relevant. He's bringing it up because Friday is coming and he's desperate. It's like the enemy sending pop-up ads to your soul right when you were finally about to watch what God is streaming. You don't click on the pop-up. You close it. You say, "That's already covered by the blood. I'm not watching that show anymore." So, here's what you do when any of these 3 show up. Don't panic. Don't spiral. Don't think you're losing your mind or losing the battle. Just recognize the pattern. Say out loud, "Oh, So this is the sign I'm close. Thanks for the confirmation. Then you turn your eyes back to Friday. You turn your heart back to what God said. You refocus. Write these 3 distractions down somewhere before Friday. Put them on a piece of paper. Tape them to your fridge. Save them in your phone. Because when they show up, and they will, you need to be ready. If you're serious about recognizing these patterns when they hit, type, "I will not be distracted" in the comments right now. Because here's what you need to understand. The enemy doesn't waste ammunition on people who aren't a threat. If you're under attack this week, it's because you're dangerous. And if Friday wasn't real, he wouldn't be fighting this hard to keep you from it. So the question is, are you going to let a random argument, a wave of tiredness, or an old memory steal what God has been preparing for decades? Or are you going to push through the smoke and walk straight into your appointed moment? Listen to me carefully, because what I'm about to give you isn't theory. This is your roadmap. This is how you walk through Friday, December 26th, like someone who knows they have an appointment with heaven. You've spent decades doing things out of routine. Church on Sunday, pills with breakfast, phone calls that go to voicemail. But Friday isn't routine. Friday is different, and I'm going to walk you through it, hour by hour, so you don't miss what God is trying to give you. Here's what most people won't tell you. The enemy doesn't fear your prayers, he fears your focus. He knows that if you can stay locked in for just one day, fully surrendered, fully awake, everything shifts. That's why I'm giving you a plan, not a formula, not superstition. A plan rooted in Scripture, rooted in intention, rooted in the kind of faith that says, "God, I'm all in." Let's start with the morning. When you wake up on Friday, don't touch your phone. I know that's hard. I know the first thing you do is reach for it, check the weather, see if anyone texted. But not Friday. Friday, you put your feet on the floor, you sit up straight, and before you do anything else, you say out loud, "Lord, this day is yours." That's it. 5 words. But those 5 words tell hell you're not playing games. Proverbs 3:5-6 says, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he will make your paths straight." You're acknowledging him first. Not the news, not the bills, not the worry, him. Then, I want you to open your Bible. If you don't have the strength to read a whole chapter, that's fine. Read one Psalm, Psalm 23, Psalm 91, Psalm 121. Pick one you already know by heart, and let it wash over you. Let those ancient words remind you that you are not forgotten, you are not too old, and God is not done with you. This first hour sets the tone for everything. If the enemy can steal your morning, he'll steal your whole day. But if you anchor yourself in God's presence before the world gets loud, you win. Now, let's talk about late morning. Around 10 or 11 a.m., after you've had your coffee, after you've gotten yourself together, I want you to sit down with a pen and paper. Not your phone, not a tablet, actual pen and paper. And I want you to write down what you're grateful for. I'm not talking about shallow things, I'm talking about the deep stuff. The fact that your heart is still beating. The fact that you survived that surgery 5 years ago when the doctors weren't sure you would. The fact that even though your kids don't call as much as you'd like, they're still alive. The fact that you woke up this morning when so many people didn't. At our age, gratitude isn't just nice, it's warfare. Every time you write something down, you're telling the enemy, "You didn't win. You tried to take me out, and I'm still here." Psalm 107:1 says, "Give thanks to the Lord, for he is good. His love endures forever." That's not a suggestion, that's a weapon. Write until your hand gets tired, write until the tears come. Because something happens when you stop focusing on what you lost and start focusing on what you still have. The atmosphere shifts, the heaviness lifts, and God starts moving. Now, the afternoon. If your body allows it, I want you to take a walk. It doesn't have to be far. Maybe it's just around the block. Maybe it's just to the mailbox and back. But while you're walking, I want you to talk to God out loud about the next season. Tell him what you want to see. Tell him you want your mind sharp. Tell him you want your body stronger. Tell him you want reconciliation with your daughter. Tell him you want to see your grandkids grow up. Picture it while you're talking. See it in your mind like it's already real. Habakkuk 2:2 says, "Write the vision and make it plain. But before you write it, you speak it. You declare it. You walk it out, literally, step by step, while telling God, this is what I'm believing you for." And here's the thing most people miss. God doesn't just hear your words. He sees your movement. He sees you getting up, putting one foot in front of the other, refusing to sit still in despair. That kind of faith moves heaven. Finally, the evening. Before you go to bed Friday night, I want you to do something powerful. Remember earlier in the week when I asked you to write down your regrets, your disappointments, the things you've been carrying for years? I want you to take that piece of paper, sit down with it one last time, and pray over it. Say this: Lord, I'm leaving this with you. I'm not carrying it into the next chapter. I'm not taking it into the next season. It's yours now. And then, if you feel led, tear it up. Rip it into pieces. Throw it away. Make it a prophetic act. Let it be a physical sign that you are done carrying what was never yours to carry. Isaiah 43:18-19 says, "Forget the former things, do not dwell on the past. See, I am doing a new thing. Now it springs up. Do you not perceive it?" God is doing something new, but you have to let go of the old to receive it. This isn't superstition. This is focus. These little acts, the morning prayer, the gratitude list, the walk, the surrender, they're small doors God can walk through. And when he walks through, everything changes. So let me ask you, are you ready to commit your Friday to God? If you are, type "I will commit my Friday to God" in the comments right now. You're not promising perfection, you're promising intention, and that's all heaven needs. Because what happens next depends entirely on how you walk through that door. I need you to do something with me right now, something that might feel unfamiliar, but I promise you it will change everything. If you're not driving, if you're sitting somewhere safe, I want you to close your eyes for just a moment. I want to walk you into your future, not some fantasy, not some wishful thinking. Your actual future, the one God has already written, the one waiting for you on the other side of Friday, December 26th. Close your eyes. Breathe. Now I want you to imagine yourself a few years from now. You're sitting in your favorite chair. Maybe it's the one by the window where the afternoon light comes in. Maybe it's the recliner in the living room. You're there, but you're different. Your shoulders aren't carrying that weight anymore. Your chest isn't tight with worry. Your mind isn't replaying all the things you lost, all the people who left, all the years you think you wasted. You're lighter, stronger, not because life got easier, but because something inside you shifted. See that version of you. Really see them. Maybe your body is healthier. Maybe the pain that's been with you for years has finally eased. Maybe your mind is clearer, sharper, no longer clouded by fear and regret. Maybe your family is more united. Maybe the silence between you and your children has been replaced with laughter again. Maybe you're not alone anymore. This isn't pretend. This is the you that God sees right now, the you he's been preparing through every single battle you've survived. Now here's what I need you to understand. That future version of you is looking back at this exact moment, right now, December 2024, and they're looking at one day in particular, Friday, December 26th, and they're calling it the day everything quietly turned. Not loud, not dramatic, but definite. Listen to what future you is saying. Can you hear them? Their voice is calm, steady, full of gratitude. I'm so glad you didn't give up. I'm so glad you didn't treat that Friday like just another leftover day after Christmas. I'm so glad you listened when heaven whispered your name. Because of you, I'm standing right here. Because you stayed. Because you prayed. Because you trusted God on a day no one else saw. Because of that one choice you made in secret, I'm free. You see, chosen one, the decisions you make when nobody's watching create the life everybody sees later. Proverbs 29:18 says, "Where there is no vision, the people perish." You've been perishing not because God abandoned you, but because you stopped seeing yourself the way He sees you. You stopped imagining that your story could still turn. You believe the lie that it's too late, that you're too old, that too much is broken. But God is saying, look again. Your grandkids will never know how close you came to quitting. They'll never know about the nights you sat in the dark wondering if God forgot your address. They'll never know you almost gave up. All they'll know is that you prayed, that you stayed, that you trusted. And because of that, they inherited something they didn't have to fight for. Peace, faith, a foundation. You think this is just about you? It's not. Friday, December 26th, is a hinge moment, not just for your life, but for your lineage. What you do on Friday echoes into generations you'll never meet. Moses didn't get to enter the promised land, but Joshua did. And Joshua's generation, and their children. All because one man said yes to God in a desert when it made no sense. Your yes on Friday will unlock doors your great-grandchildren will walk through without even knowing you bled for the key. Now open your eyes. Look around you. You're still in the same room, same house, same body, same circumstances. But something inside you just shifted, didn't it? You felt it. That's not emotion. That's revelation. That's the Holy Spirit confirming what I just showed you is real. 2 Corinthians 4:18 says, "We fix our eyes not on what is seen, but on what is unseen, since what is seen is temporary, but what is unseen is eternal." You've been staring at what's temporary for too long. The bills, the pain, the empty chairs at the table, the phone that doesn't ring. But God is saying, lift your eyes. See what I see. See who you're becoming. If that touched something deep in your spirit, if you saw yourself in that chair looking back with gratitude, I need you to do something right now. Type these 4 words in the comments. I saw my future. Let that be your agreement with heaven that your story isn't done. Let that be your line in the sand that says, devil, you lose. I'm not quitting. I'm not fading. I'm not disappearing into regret. Because here's the truth nobody wants to say out loud. Most people die with their future still inside them. They never become who God called them to be because they quit right before the turning point. You're not most people, you're chosen. And chosen ones don't quit in December, they break through. So now the question is simple. When Friday, December 26th comes, will you treat it like leftover Christmas? Or will you treat it like the appointed day it is? Because future you is watching, and they're praying you don't miss it. Let me tell you something most preachers won't say out loud, because it sounds too simple, too direct, but I'm going to say it anyway, because you need to hear it before Friday gets here. You've been making agreements, not with the devil, not in some dark ritual, nothing like that. I'm talking about quiet agreements. The kind you make at 2 a.m. when you can't sleep. The kind you make when you're sitting alone at the kitchen table, staring at bills you can't pay. The kind you whisper to yourself when the phone doesn't ring on your birthday. An agreement is when you decide, deep down in a place you don't even talk about, this is just who I am now, this is just how it will be. And the moment you say that, the moment you believe it, you just signed a contract with the wrong kingdom. Listen carefully. Some of you made an agreement with fear. You didn't mean to. It happened slowly, year after year. The diagnosis came, the spouse left, the savings disappeared, the kids moved away. And somewhere in all that pain, you said to yourself, I'll always be nervous. I'll always be waiting for bad news. That's just life now. But that's not life. That's a lie wearing life's clothes. Fear is not your destiny. Fear is a spirit. And spirits don't have legal rights unless you give them permission. Every time you say, I'm just an anxious person, you're renewing a lease you should have cancelled years ago. Proverbs 29:25 says, Fear of man will prove to be a snare, but whoever trusts in the Lord is kept safe. You've been trapped long enough, not by circumstances, by agreement. And some of you made an agreement with poverty. Not just broke. I'm talking about a poverty mindset. You've been telling yourself, people like me don't get ahead. People like me just survive. I'm lucky if I make it to the first of the month. But God